All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Strength and Balance on this Tuesday morning. This morning, we're going to stay up on our feet for a while, then we'll come on down to the floor. So we'll kind of break the class up. First half on your feet, second half on the floor, just to be prepared. Just remember that anytime I give you a repetition, it is a guideline, not the exact amount that you have to do. So make sure you listen to your body. Everybody's at a different level. Everybody has different issues that we are working through. So just pay attention to your body first, and however many repetitions you can do with perfect form, and then go from there. So without further ado, let's rock and roll. Turn the music on. We'll start off by those shoulder circles. Why is it so dark? Shoulder circles, up, around, and down. Think relaxing the neck, relaxing the shoulders, trying to get as much range of motion in the shoulder that you can. Let's do one more and then keep the shoulders down and back. Take your head, look to the right and to the left. Loosen up the neck. Mjolnir says good morning. She's looking for bugs. Then let's take the head and look up and down. Again, we want to keep the shoulders down and back. Last one. Arm circles. So we'll bring the left arm all the way up and overhead. Twist a little through that torso, and then the opposite side. Try to get as much range of motion that you can. Spread the fingers at the top. Let's do one more on each side. Then we're going to hold on the left side for 8. So big circles only on the left for 8. And then the right side for 8. Last one, and swimmer. So one arm comes forward, one arm comes back. One more each side, and release. Open up the chest, so palms face forward. Bring the hands back behind the midline of the body, but keep the shoulders down. So make sure we don't bring them up. Relax them down. Open up, and then give yourself a hug. Then open up again, and the opposite arm comes on top. Let's do one more on each side. So left arm's on top, then right arm is on top. Now we are going to take those arms and bring them overhead, alternating. So overhead, but we want to do a little bit of a lean up on that toe and then lean on the other side. We want to feel this all the way down the side of your body. It's a dreary, rainy Tuesday. So let's wake on up. One more each side, overhead. Then let's take it across. So we are going to twist through the torso, pivot on that back foot and reach your arm across. Center, pivot, opposite side. Let's do one more each side. And now we will go all the way around. So 2 arms overhead, 2 arms across. So left overhead, right overhead, left across, right across. Overhead, overhead, across, across. I don't know if you can hear my knees cracking, my shoulders cracking. One more time, all the way around. Then we're gonna stay on one side. So your left arm comes overhead, then the left arm comes across. Back to overhead and across. So staying on that one side. And now the opposite side. So right arm overhead, right arm across, overhead and across. Last one. And a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth and stop your arms at shoulder height. The palms will be facing towards the floor. Small circles in one direction. Keep going. And the opposite direction. And release. Step touch. So we're stepping to the side. So step to the left and touch. Step to the right and touch. To the left, to the right. When you have this movement, we want to focus on keeping the feet parallel as we step out. So I'm using my mat as a guideline. That way I'm not moving forward or back. I'm just staying the same plane on the same line. When you have the feet, you can add the arms. So bring the arms overhead, forward. Now be mindful of your heart rate. The higher the hands, the higher the heart rate. So if you feel like your heart rate is getting up too high, then bring the arms a little bit lower and slow down the speed. If you want to get the heart rate up and get that cardiovascular health up, then we want to go a little bit faster and bring the arms a little bit higher. So this is up to you. One more and release. Let's come up on your toes. So we're going to come up on the toes into those calf raises and down, up and down. We're gonna go for 10. I'm on my 10th. If you're not counting, you can release when you finish your 10-ish, then heels to the front. So we're going to stabilize on one foot as we drive one heel forward, then the other side. We want to press through the stationary heel and just tap that forward heel down to the floor with the toes up. You don't have to turn, I'm just showing you different angles. If you want to turn, you can. Let's do one more each side. Then we're going to tap to the side. So we'll stabilize on one leg, tap over to the right, and then tap over to the left. So my body weight is not shifting. I'm just tapping that leg. So be mindful that the body is not moving with the leg. We're staying stationary on that steady, stationary leg, keeping that core tight as we tap out. Let's do one more per side. Then we'll tap it back. So I think I need that broom. Something's on my floor. So tapping the toes back. Again, we're staying steady on that stationary leg and just tapping that leg behind. So we're not shifting our weight, pressing through that stationary heel as we tap the toes behind you. Let's do one more per side. We're gonna go back into those calf raises, another 10-ish. So let's come up on the toes and down, up and down. When you release, we can go into butt kicks. So here we are going to hinge forward slightly, pressing through the heel as we bring one foot, one heel up to your butt. Shift your weight now. And when you have this, you can add the arms, driving the elbows back as you kick your butt. One more each side. And you can release. We are now going to go right into your heel and toe. So we'll stabilize on that right foot, soft, natural bend in that right knee. Bring your heel, opposite heel forward and toes back. Heel forward, toes back. So we have a nice straight line from that stationary ankle, knee, hip, shoulder, and ear. Whoop. Abdomen is nice and tight. And our body weight is not shifting. We're staying nice and strong on this side. And release right away, opposite side. Soft bend in that knee, heel and toe. And you can release. Kick it on out. Grab a chair, please. Grab a chair. So the chair, when a chair that we sit in, we want about a 90-degree angle behind the knee when we are seated. However, we are not going to sit yet. We are going to use the back of the chair to balance. but we will use the chair. If you have a bench or something that you'd rather do sit to stands with, you can hold on to a wall, well, not a curtain, a wall, solid wall, a pole, or the back of your chair, whatever you need to. So we're going to start off holding on. So wall, pole, chair, stabilizing here. Our abdomen is nice and tight. We're pressing through that right heel, right hand's balancing us. We are going to hold onto whatever we are holding onto for the whole time. Then we are going to swing that opposite leg. We are going to swing it forward and back. 10 repetitions on this side. So we are not going to lean forward and back. We are just going to swing that leg forward and back, loosening up the hip. Forward and back is 1. We are going to go for 10. When you finish 10 on one side, we can flip on over and do 10 on the opposite side. When you do 10 on both sides, you can release. From here, we are going to balance. So that right hand's back on the wall, the pole or the chair. Soft bend in that right knee. Bring your left knee up and hold. Now we are going to hold that balance. So when you feel steady on that right leg, we are going to let that right hand release from the chair, keeping your core nice and tight, hips square, shoulders square, and balance. So from here, let's circle that foot in one direction, left foot. Same foot in the opposite direction. Then let's release. To challenge your balance a little more, you can close your eyes, or you can take your head and look right and left. You can release. So you hopefully feel that on that right leg, maybe in the calf, those stabilizer muscles. Now we're gonna come on over to the opposite side. So I'm gonna move my chair. Same thing on this side. So we're going to stabilize on that stationary leg. Hold on, bring the opposite knee up. When you have your balance and you feel steady, you can take that hand away and circle that foot in one direction. And the opposite direction. To challenge your balance here, you can close your eyes. Oops. And then if you need to challenge your balance anymore, look right and left. So that stationary leg should be working hard. And you can release. Kick it on out. We're going to come back on over. We're going to go into your hip circles. So we want to, again, loosen up those hips. So we are going to come back to that left leg. Hold on this time the whole way through because I want that full range of motion. So we are going to bring that left knee up, around, down. That's 1. We will go for 10 in this direction. Up, around, and down, keeping the hips square. When you finish 10 in that direction, we are going to stay on the same side and go in the opposite direction. So we'll bring that knee out to the side, in and down for 10. When you finish 10 in both directions on that side, then we can switch on over to the opposite side and do both directions on the opposite side. So we are starting with bringing the knee up, around, try not to step on my cat, and down. When you finish 10 in one direction, we'll go in the opposite direction for an additional 10. When you finish 10, now we are going to come into our sit to stands. So now you can grab your chair or bench or whatever you are using to sit down and stand on up. So we are going to start off seated. We are going to move our feet so the knee is in line with the ankle. So make sure the feet aren't too far back. We want to keep the heels down. I'd like you to have your feet a little bit wider than your hips, but make sure the knees aren't in together. We will also want the same distance that's between the ankles, between the knees. So we don't want the knees to be in or out. We want a foot flat. From here, we are going to keep those shoulders down and back. Tuck the shoulder blades down towards your back pocket, squeeze your abdomen. Then we are going to stand up, pressing through the heels. Then hips back, break at the hips, push the booty back down and tap. Then up and down. We will go for 10-ish. I keep my arms in front of my chest to help keep my chest up. We want the eyes forward. Think top of the head comes up towards the ceiling. When you finish your 10, we are going to go into 10 good mornings. So those good mornings, arms are up right by the head, fingertips are pointed right at the side of the head. So we don't want to pull on the head, but we want to keep just the fingertips by the temples almost. Then we push the booty back. So we have a soft bend in the knee. Push the booty back, come down with a flat back. So we come down with a flat back. We should feel it maybe down the glutes a little bit. We want to focus down on the hamstrings mostly. Then we're going to squeeze the butt, push the hips forward. So we want to feel it and power through with the hips, the glutes, to push your hip self up rather than pulling from that low back. So we're going to go for 10. Hips away, then push through with the hips. We want to push through, power those hips forward, squeeze the butt. When you finish your 10, we are going to go back into those sit to stands. 10 more, please. Same thing this time through. Hips away, abdomen is tight, 10-ish. Push the butt back, tap the butt down, then come back on up and squeeze the butt. When you finish your 10, you can get right back into those 10 good mornings. This is the last time for your good mornings, just so you know. Last time for the good morning. So if you can do a few more, but focus on that perfect form. Flat back. We should feel it in the hamstrings. If you don't feel it in the hamstrings, something's off. Check your form in a mirror. Hips away. Back is flat. We want to make sure, now notice my butt is farther back than my ankles. So I'm not just rounding and hinging here. I'm actually pushing my butt back. So if there was a wall behind me, I'd be aiming my butt towards the wall behind me. That'll activate the hamstrings. When you finish your 10, we are going to balance again. So we are going to grab a wall, back of a chair, or a pole. So we're not actually balancing because I want you to keep that hand on whatever we have that's stable. We're going to press through that stationary leg, and instead of coming forward and back, we are going to go into that lateral leg lift. So we're working the hip, the abductor. So we're flexing that outside leg, pull the toes towards your shin, and we are leading out to the side. And I want you to turn the toes down slightly so you really activate that IT, that hip flexor. I'm sorry, the abductor. We're going for 10 per side. When you finish 10 on one side, we are going to do 10 on the opposite side. And when you finish 10 on both sides, you can put your chair away. But we are not done with your squats yet, because we are going to do 10 air squats. So the air squat's similar to that chair squat, the sit to stance, except you're not resting at the bottom. Your legs are working the whole entire time. So we want to keep that same form, chest up, hips go back. And we are going to squat down. Try to get as low as your chair, if not lower. And then back on up. We're going to go for 10-ish at your own pace and at your own depth. Make sure you're pressing through the heels. Keep the toes down and feel comfortable in your range of motion. You might start off a little higher than you would feel comfortable and then work your way down a little bit to where you're comfortable. So 10-ish with that perfect form. When you finish your 10-ish, you can grab some water and we will come on down to the floor. We'll start off on your back and we'll spend the remainder of class on the floor. So if you want to keep your water next to you on the floor, you can do so. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Okay. Good. So when you're ready, we want to make sure that before you come down to the floor, Probably you're all on the floor already. Before you come down, we always want to make sure that your heart rate is down. So make sure your heart rate's not elevated. We want to feel comfortable and make sure that the heart rate's down before you come down onto the floor. So when you're feeling ready, come on down on your back, and we are going to get right into your bridges. So let's talk about your bridge first. When we go into your bridge, your knees will be bent, your feet will be flat on the floor. Press through the heel, but we want to keep the toes down too. You can always spread the toes and use that whole foot to help stabilize. Hips will be square, which means we're not rocking side to side. We're keeping those hips square and shoulders square. Pelvic tilt, so you're pressing that low back down to the floor and your pubic bone comes up towards your heart, keeping that belly button pulled down to the spine. From here, we are going to lift the hips up and squeeze the butt cheeks at the top. Then come back down. We will go for 10 bridges, please. You can always challenge yourself and cross your arms to make it a little bit harder. 2. Keeping the core tight. Feel all the muscles working. And take your time. And release on down. You can pull both knees into your chest when you finish. Well, when you finish your 10. When you finish, you can pull both knees in. And when you're ready, we are going to do another 10 bridges, this time with a nice wide stance. Again, a pelvic tilt, so the feet are wider than they were the first time. Again, you can cross your arms over your chest to challenge yourself a little more, or keep the hands down on the floor, whatever you prefer. But keep that wide stance, and at the top of that wide stance, make sure the knees don't come in. We want to push them out slightly, squeeze, and then slowly lower down. When you finish that 10, you can pull both knees into your chest, hug them in, rock side to side. Now we are going to go into those single leg bridges. So here's some people have a little bit of a hard time with. So I'm going to have you today, we're going to cross your right ankle over left knee. Make sure that left hip, knee, and ankle are all relatively in line. We don't want everything out too far. Hips are square, shoulders are square. You can keep the arms out at the side to stabilize more. The closer the arms are to the body, the harder it is. And even harder, you can cross the arms. I would start with those arms out to the side. So we want to make sure that that right knee is pressed out to the side, keeping the hip open. And square, we're lifting, pressing through that left heel. We're going to lift up, squeeze the butt, and then slowly come back down. So we're going to shoot for 10. If that's impossible for you today, do however many you can do with perfect form, and do the remainder with both feet down into that regular bridge. So when you're ready, When you finish 10 or however many you're doing on one side, you can get right into the opposite side. When you finish 10 or however many you are going to do on both sides, you can pull both knees into your chest and rock them side to side. Return your feet down to the floor when you're ready, arms out at shoulder height, and we are going to windshield wiper the knees. So drop the knees over to the right, head to the left, and then knees over to the left, head to the right. Take your time as we just let the knees drop to each side. And release, come back to center. From here, I'd like you to pull your right knee in towards your chest and extend that left leg long. Lift the left foot off the floor if you can. Then we are going to slowly switch. And switch. Slow and controlled. Switching the legs. Again, that extended leg is off the floor if you can. Let's do one more each side. And release. You can pull both knees in and just rock side to side. When you are ready, we are going to roll on over to your stomach. When you are on your stomach, you can push back into child's pose and relax here. So that child's pose, butt is down on the heels, arms are long in front of you. And from here, we will come up to that tabletop position. So with that tabletop position, your wrist is in line with shoulder. So make sure the hands aren't too close together or too far apart. We want them, the wrists, same distance apart as the shoulders. Same thing here. We don't want the arms too far forward or too far back. We want that nice square shoulder. Now, same thing with the hips and knees. We want the knees, we don't want them in together or too far apart. We want the knee in line with hip. Then we are, instead of having our feet at the top of the feet on the floor, we are going to tuck the toes and hold here. So this is our nice, strong tabletop stance. Shoulders down, make sure the back's not swaying. We want a flat back, abdomen is tight. From here, we are going to extend your right arm forward and your left leg back into that bird dog. We will go into a static hold bird dog, 30 seconds per side. So right arm will be forward, left leg back, and hold. So from here, that right arm will be forward, palm face in. The left leg is long, but flex that foot. So make sure the knee is not bent. We're pressing out through the heel. Hips are square, shoulders are square. We have 15 more seconds on this side. Then we will switch and go right into the opposite side. 5, 4, 3, 2, and other side. Right away. Again, that left palm is face in. We're pressing out through the heel of that right foot. Make sure it's not up too high. We don't want to arch the back. Hips square, shoulders square, belly button up towards your spine. We have 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. From here, you can push back into child's pose. And we are going to go right into a 1 minute low plank. So forearms will be parallel, elbows in line with shoulder, abdomen is tight. We want to make sure we don't want to lift up here because then our butt's in the air. So having that nice low plank, if you step a foot back and then extend the other leg long, it helps keep your back nice and flat so the booty's not up in the air. We're going for 1 minute. Everybody up and hold. So shoulders are square. Shoulder blades are tucked down towards your back pockets. Elbows are in line with your shoulder. Hips and shoulders are square. Belly button is pulled up towards your spine. Make sure you are breathing. Relax the neck. Make sure you're not looking up or down. We want a neutral bend in your neck. We are halfway home. That's 30 seconds. Make sure you keep breathing. Very important to make sure you still have your breath. Fifteen more seconds. That's 45. 5, 4, 3, and release. You can push on back into child's pose, butt back over heels. Then we are going to go back into that bird dog, this time a dynamic bird dog. 10 per side, please. So we're up in that tabletop position again, tuck the toes, right arm forward, left leg back. And that dynamic bird dog, we are bringing the elbow and knee both in towards the center of the body and then extending long. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. When you finish 10 on that side, we can get right into the opposite side. Left arm forward, right leg back, elbow to knee, and extend long. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. You can release when you finish. Push back into child's pose, butt back over heels, and sink down into this position. keeping your butt down on the heels, we want to walk the fingertips a little bit farther forward, as far forward as you can get them. Mailman's here. I don't know if you can hear my dog barking. Walk the hands over to your left and hold. So when you walk your hands to the left, your butt stays down on the heels, your head stays between the arms, and the arms are long. So it's not all the way over to the left, it's just a little bit over to the left, and you should feel this down the lats on the right side of your back. And same thing on the right, so walk your hands to center, recommit to that nice strong child's pose, then walk your hands over to the right. Hips stay down on heels, arms stay long, head stays between the arms. Back to center. And come down flat on your stomach. Bring your elbows back next to the chest. Hips stay down on the floor. Very, very important to keep the hips down, smoosh them into the floor, and the chest comes up. If you have the flexibility, you can come up on the hands instead, but the hips must stay down into the floor. So I'm lifting them up, not okay. We keep the hips down. So whatever range of motion is good for you, we should feel this in the low back as well as in the abdomen. Now we are going to rest your head down on that right hand and reach for that left ankle. Now, I'm going to give you an option if this is not possible for you today. So we're going to reach for that left ankle, pull that left heel towards your butt for your quadriceps stretch here. If this is not possible for you today, you're just going to roll over to that right side and pull that top heel. So again, that left heel back, and you'll get a good quadricep stretch here. So we just want to feel it on the front of the leg. So whatever position is good for you. If you get your quadricep stretch on your side and then roll to your stomach, sometimes it's okay, but it depends on everybody's flexibility. Release, same thing on the opposite side. So I'm going to rest my head down on my left hand and reach for my right ankle. And again, if you can't do it on your stomach, you can roll over to your left side. Release and push back into child's pose again. So hips over heels. Then that tabletop position, hands and knees, cat, cow. Tuck your chin, arch your back, tuck the tail. Then slowly lift the chin, lift the tail, and sway the back. Pause in each position and try to get a little deeper in that stretch. And release. We're going to come on over to our backs now. So roll on over to your back. Extend both legs long when you are on your back, both arms long when you are on your back, and just reach in opposite directions. From here, pull that right knee in towards your chest. Hug the right knee in. Then press that right foot up towards the ceiling. Extend that leg long and pull that straight leg towards your chest. So this is a hamstring stretch. We should feel this down the back of the leg. Release. Same thing on the other side. So extend the right leg long. We are going to pull the left knee in first. And then extend that left foot up towards the ceiling. Hamstring stretch on this side. And when you're ready, you can bend both knees, both feet flat on the floor. Take your right ankle, place it over left knee like we did with those single leg bridges. Don't worry, we're not doing them again. But we are going to reach behind your left knee and pull the left knee in towards your chest. Make sure you breathe. And release, opposite side. So cross your left ankle over right knee. And when you are ready, reach behind that right knee and pull the right knee in towards your chest. And release, both feet flat on the floor, arms out at shoulder height, knees drop to the right, head goes to the left, and hold. Knees to the left, head to the right, and hold. back to center. You can sit on up, extend both legs long, flex the feet, hands stay behind the back. And when you're ready, walk the hands forward and try to reach towards those flexed feet. Release, sit however you are comfortable. If you prefer, you can come up to standing. And whenever you're ready, you're just gonna roll the shoulders back. Big circles with those shoulders, but keep the hands close to the body. You wanna get as much range of motion as possible with the shoulders. And when you're ready, arms out at shoulder height, palms up towards the ceiling this time. Look up and push the thumbs back. Open the chest, keep the shoulders down. And let's release. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. 2 more. Last one. Good job today, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I thought I forgot to record for